Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Moneyball Cards podcast. Today we're going to be taking a look at Jasson Dominguez. Should you be buying some of his cards? First off though, like all other episodes, what did I pick up this last weekend at a card show? So I went to LA and back 24 hours flying from Orlando, Florida. So about 12 hours in the air plus time at the airport waiting. So it was a pretty exhausting weekend. But one of the pickups that I got was this Paul Goldschmidt first Bowman Chrome autograph. Picked this up for $70. It looked pretty clean in general. I know there's a little dust on the case itself, but Paul Goldschmidt is having a Hall of Fame career. This card was cheap. It was like $70. People were spending hundreds of dollars on players hoping that they pan out. You can get a Paul Goldschmidt who's on track to be a Hall of Famer, playing for the Cardinals right now, and obviously he played for Arizona for 70. Feels like it's super undervalued, but I don't know. Maybe I'll grade it, move it. I haven't fully decided with that yet, but today we're talking about Jasson Dominguez. The Yankees used to be top prospect, but now number 2 in their system because of Anthony Volpe. But why I'm doing this video today is one of his superfractors is actually at auction right now, and it's about to hit crazy money. So I'll show you that in a second when I go over to my computer. But I wanted to show you guys some stats on Jasson Dominguez, where he's currently at, and why it's a little bit too early to predict where he will land in the future. So I'm going to go on my computer right now and show you all that information. So first, I'm on Golden Auctions, and they are selling the 1/1 Superfractor autograph of Jasson. And currently, right now, with buyer's premium, it is at $205,000. There's still 1 day and 7 hours. So it wouldn't surprise me if this card goes for $250,000, possibly $300,000, which is absolutely insane. But you can see what this card looks like over here, the 1/1, and it is a 10. You can see the back of that card. Pretty iconic card in the hobby because how people hyped up Dominguez so much, and they're continuing to buy his cards. They're going for crazy numbers last year. In fact, let's take a look at it in Market Movers, which is my go-to tool. So we're going to put over here 2020 Jasson Dominguez. And we're going to look at the Chrome. We're going to look at the Chrome as a PSA 10. Take a look at this 1-year chart. So obviously last 90 days, kind of flatline, went up a little bit, but last 365, this card went crashing down. I mean, this thing would hit a peak of almost $400 at $399. And right now they're selling for about $125, $120. Even the high rate over here was like $130-ish. So the card has gone down quite a bit, and a lot of that goes back to what he did in the minor leagues and also a correction in the market, because there's 7,400 of these cards that are graded as a 10. If you go to 9s, I'm sure there's at least a few thousand more. So between 9s and 10s, you're looking well over 10,000 cards, and that's just in PSA slots. It's not including other ones as well. And if we want to take a look at his base autograph and also a Sapphire. So here's a Sapphire. We're going to take a look at that first as well, but it's a little bit more of a scarcer card. As you can see, there's not as much as a decline on it. Obviously there is. You had a high over here at $1,000, another high over here at, if I can load that up, $950. And nowadays it's about half at $500, but it's not really fair to say, or $430 right there. Those were the full comps. Even look at some of these others like $735, $700. But it has gone down quite a bit, not as steep as the other version. And if you can take a look at his autograph, I believe it should be in here. We'll load that up. So that's the Sapphire auto. That is it raw. Put up another one. All right, we have all the cards here. So let's find an autograph of his. Here we go, the refractor and then the base. So change that to a PSA 10. And here we go with the autograph card, last 365 days as a 10. Hit a peak of 3,300. Right now it's at like 1,600, so half the value. It did have a spike here at 2,000, back down to 1,500. So about lost half of its value. You can see the pop there is 165. Much, much lower than that base card in general. So with that in mind, was that decrease in prices across the board because of how he's playing? Is he not a good prospect anymore? What's the case? Well, first, in the Yankees organization, Anthony Volpe performed extremely well and took over that number one spot. So before the season, Jasson was the most hyped prospect across baseball. And even you can read this on MLB Prospects over here. It says the most hyped and told up international prospect in recent memory. And they talk about best athletes in history, such as Bo Jackson, Mantle, and Trout. They spent $5.1 million or around there on his contract and all that over here. He's a switch hitter, by the way. And then you have Volpe over here. Also very similar ages. So Volpe is 20 right now. Jasson is 18. So a lot of people started going from Jasson now, going to the other prospect just because of their ranking change. Even though Jasson's still about 2 years younger, but people chase what's hot right now, and Anthony passed Jasson. So you have a little bit of that going on in the market. But I wanted to show you guys information on Fangraphs so you can see where his potential is. So they gave him a hitting as a 50, power 60, raw power there 60, speed 55, fielding 50, and then FV as a 50. So nothing super stands out right now. Again, super young as well, so things can change over time. So we're going to take a look at how he performed last year in 2021. So first thing I'm going to take a look at is the walk percentage. And he played only 7 games over here. I'm going to look at his single A stats just so you guys have that as a reference. 9.8% walking, which is okay. It's not elite by any means, but this scares me, the 31.3%, because we're talking about single A pitching. We're not talking about upper levels of baseball, and already a 31.3% strikeout rate. Now, as pitchers go up, their pitches are better. They know how to locate better as well. And you do see a spike sometimes on the K percentage. And if there's a risk already with the K percentage in single A or double A, and a player is going to get promoted, that's something I'd be very weary about just because of how well the competition is at those extra levels. So 31.3%, I have a red flag in my mind. ISO 140, which isn't good. That means he's not really having a lot of power, which supports over here in 50 games, only 5 home runs. Think about a full season being 150 to 160 games. Obviously not players isn't going to be playing all 162 nowadays, and no Cal Ripkins out there, but we're looking at maybe 15 home runs. But I'm going to make the argument once again, he's 18 years old. You can see that over here, and bodies aren't fully developed. Not a ton of experience yet in the minor league systems. So things can change, obviously, but these stats initially aren't looking too solid. We're going to look over a few other things as well. WRC plus 105, so slightly above average for the league. Again, single A. So these guys aren't going to all make the major leagues. If I was number one prospect in baseball, I'd like to see that WRC plus a lot higher. Now, one other thing I wanted to point out real quick for you guys is his BABIP. And that shows you the batting average of balls in play. So he has a 371, which is really high. So it tells me either one of two things. One, he's getting lucky with what he's hitting, and that batting average should be lower than 258. Or number two, he's making really good contact. So we'll see as more data comes in the next following season and 2022. Hopefully all the things are dealt with the labor issue right now, but we can see another full season of data, how well he performs, and if that BABIP goes down, or we see his batting average increase over time because he's making solid contact. The big issue, though, is those strikeouts. 31.3% is really high. There are players that strike out quite a lot and still perform well. I mean, you can look at Aaron Judge, but I don't like that in a player that I'm going to be buying cards in. Lastly, I wanted to take a look at batted ball profiles because I think it's pretty important, especially in the age of the shift. So we have a 55.5% pull, 14% in center field, and then 30% opposite. That is not good. He's pulling the ball way too much, and he's going to be shifted. So we need to see improvements on that side of things. So that's my overview, quick overview of Jasson Dominguez. The site I used here was Fangraphs. Highly recommend it because there's tons and tons of data. I didn't have time to cover every single bit of it, but if you want to take a look at it, just go to fangraphs.com and search Jasson Dominguez and you'll find all the information. Again, I wouldn't make full opinions on a player based off of only one season in the minor leagues, especially at the age of 18, but that one season was not good.